Seven founders, seven stories, companies worth over $150 billion combined. Some started with nothing, some were rejected by every investor. One has zero outside funding and makes $5 million per employee. These are the founders who bet everything on AI. And one, not theory, not predictions, real people who went from struggle to building some of the most valuable companies on earth in under 3 years. Story 1. David Holz, Midjourney. David's first company was Leap Motion, a hand tracking device he poured years into. It was technically brilliant, and commercially it failed. He sold it for a fraction of what he'd invested. Most founders would have taken a job at Google. David didn't. He started Midjourney with a radical decision: no venture capital, not a dollar. He bootstrapped the entire thing. Today, Midjourney has 100 employees and makes $500 million a year. That's $5 million in revenue per employee. The most efficient company in the history of tech. No investors, no board, no one telling him what to build. David proved that you don't need permission to build something extraordinary. You need conviction and the courage to fund it yourself. Story 2. Aravind Srinivas, Perplexity AI. Aravind grew up in Chennai, India. He studied hard, got into the best schools, landed a job at OpenAI. At 28, he quit. Not to join another big company, to build a search engine that would compete with Google. Everyone thought he was crazy. Google had 30 years of infrastructure, billions of users, and unlimited resources. Aravind had a small team and a thesis. People don't want 10 blue links, they want answers. 4 years later, Perplexity is valued at $22.6 billion. Aravind is India's youngest billionaire, and he did it with extreme efficiency. 5x revenue growth with only 34% team growth. He recently bid 34 billion to buy Chrome from Google. The kid from Chennai is now trying to buy Google's browser. That's the story. Story 3. Cursor. Four MIT classmates: Michael Truel, Swale Asif, Arvid Lunemark, and Aman Sangar. They met in a research lab and noticed something everyone else missed. Every AI coding tool was a plugin bolted onto an editor designed for humans. What if you rebuilt the editor from scratch? AI first? They forked VS Code and rebuilt it. No one took them seriously at first. Just college kids with a side project. 3 years later, Cursor hit $2 billion in annual revenue. Then, XI offered to acquire them for $60 billion. 60 billion from a university side project. The lesson? The best products don't add AI to existing tools. They reimagine the tool with AI at the core. That distinction is worth $60 billion. Story 4. Piotr Dubkovsky and Mati Stanishevsky. ElevenLabs. Two guys from Poland. Not Silicon Valley. Not Stanford. Poland. Piotr was an engineer at Google. Mati was at Palantir. They saw that AI voice technology was terrible, robotic, unnatural, unusable for real content. They quit their jobs and started building. No connections in the valley. No warm intros to investors. Just two engineers who believed voice AI could be indistinguishable from human speech. 4 years later, ElevenLabs is valued at $11 billion with over 200 million in revenue. From two people in Poland to nearly 800 employees and a product used by millions worldwide. They proved that you don't need to be born in San Francisco. you need to be obsessed with a problem the world hasn't solved yet. Story 5: Cognition Labs. Scott Wu, Stephen Howe, and Walden Yan. Three friends in their 20s who all shared one thing: they were International Olympiad in Informatics gold medalists, the best competitive programmers on earth. They started a crypto company. It didn't work. They pivoted to AI. In August 2023, they built Devin, the first autonomous AI software engineer. The tech world exploded. 18 months later, the company was valued at $25 billion. Scott was barely 25 years old. Their first startup failed. Their second attempt changed the entire software industry. The pivot from crypto to AI at exactly the right moment turned three competitive programmers into the founders of one of the most valuable AI companies in the world. Story 6: Bret Taylor, Sierra AI. This story is different. Bret wasn't a scrappy underdog. He was the co CEO of Salesforce, one of the most powerful positions in enterprise software. He walked away, left the corner office, the compensation, the power. Started Sierra in January 2023 to build AI customer service agents. Everyone said he was crazy. Why leave Salesforce for a startup? 21 months later, Sierra hit $100 million in annual revenue and a $10 billion valuation. Bret proved something important. It's not just first time founders who can build AI native companies. The most experienced operators in tech are also betting their careers on this shift. When a co CEO of Salesforce leaves to build an AI startup, that tells you everything about where the world is going. Story 7: Lovable. The fastest growing AI company almost nobody saw coming. They built a platform that lets anyone create apps through conversation. No code required. In July 2025, they hit $100 million in annual revenue. By February 2026, they hit $400 million. 4x in 7 months. 8 million users. Valued at $6.6 billion. Their insight was simple but profound. Coding is not the bottleneck anymore. Ideas are. And the people with the best ideas aren't always the ones who can code. Lovable made app creation accessible to everyone, and the market responded with the fastest ARR growth in the history of SaaS. 7 stories, 7 lessons. David Holz proved you don't need investors. Aravind proved you don't need to be from Silicon Valley. Cursor proved that reimagining beats adding on. ElevenLabs proved two people from Poland can build an $11 billion company. Cognition proved that a failed first startup doesn't define you. Bret Taylor proved that the best operators are going all in on AI. And Lovable proved that the fastest growth comes from making AI accessible to everyone. The window is open right now. Comment founder, and I'll send you the complete guide. Every company's story, team size, tech stack, funding timeline, and the playbook for building AI native. All 4 guides in the description. Subscribe for more.